my name is Tyler Lehman, and I am doing gamification on giant food stores. So what is gamification?
The application of typical elements of game playing, e.g., point scoring, competition with others, rules of play, to other areas of activity. Typically as an online marketing technique to encourage engagement with a product or service.
Alright, so if you didn't understand that, what gamification is just applying parts of games into the real world. So things like points scored, or having lives, or even grinding. So now that we know what gamification is, what I'm going to gamify is, of course, giant food store. I am a checkout coach, so what I'm going to do is gamify my cashiers. So what a checkout coach is we are in charge of all the cashiers and run the front end. So I just want to know what's the best thing for my cashiers. The first thing I'd like to do to gamify Giant would be having lives. Having lives is an important thing in many video games, and I'd like to see if it works for our cashiers. With that being said, I would like to start off with how you lose lives for cashiers is usually by just messing up on wick checks, tills being short, or even not greeting and guiding. With that being said, how to gain lives will be when we do donations, which is almost all the time. If you receive a certain amount of donations, we'll give you an extra life. Or if your tills are not short for a certain amount of period, say 4 weeks, they will also give you an extra life. With that being said, there are some pros and cons for having lives. For example, when you have a lot of lives, you're more likely to give yourself security. You feel good, and you really can point out that you're a hard worker. But some cons for having high lives is you don't really worry about your job anymore. You're really secured. You can lose lives, doesn't matter. With that being said, if you have low lives, a good pro for us is it motivates them hopefully to work harder. It should. Or if not, you feel like cons would be more like you have no hope and you're about to lose the last life. So what happens when you lose all the lives? Well, when you lose all your lives, that means the game is over usually. And for what I would implement in our system is when you lose your last life, you will be demoted to the next thing. So us, for Giant, when you are a cashier, the next demotion would be a courtesy clerk, which is now going to be just a bagger / pushing carts. With the lives being implemented in Giant, I would like to also add points into this. With that being said, points scored, I'm going to have more of a leaderboard system. The leaderboard system is going to have points ranked for them, and we're going to have ranking. With this ranking, you'll see who's first all the way down to who is last. With that being said, I would like to implement a promotion and demoting system. The top two at the end of the certain period will be promoted, and the bottom two will be demoted. That being said, if the person likes being in their position and they're in the top two and they don't want to be promoted, we will allow them to stay at their position, and the next person below that will be promoted. So with that being said, how do you gain points or how do you lose points here? Well, for us, it's pretty simple. Having a clean day, meaning you're not getting yelled at or anything, will be a point for you. Having a consecutive while, so for example a week, we will give you 3 points, so a clean week is 3 points. And then for 5 points is getting a customer compliment. It is really important for our system to have customer compliments, customers enjoying our store compared to other stores. With that being said, losing points is being told to greet and guide. It is something us checkout coaches don't like to do, but a lot of people don't like to greet and guide, and we have to force that on them. Also, them being on the phones is minus a point. Messing up on wick checks is really important as well, so that's going to be -3, and then being short on a till, money-wise, you will also lose 3 points. In the end, with these two being implemented into this Giant system, I believe it could be very successful for cashiers, as they now have a competition or something to look at. They have lives, which can keep track of how well their performance is doing, and then also for scoring points, they can also see how they're compared to other cashiers. It'll hopefully make them want to strive to be better and become a better cashier, also to maybe possibly be promoted, and also it should help us with the lower ones that are struggling with being cashier to possibly step up their game a little bit. With this being said, I feel like if these were implemented, our cashiers would be more likely to want to come to work as they have something more to strive for now. They're looking more to possibly get promoted compared to just working for their cash payment, their check every week. They can now look towards possibly being promoted to the next thing, which would be service desk. In the end, I'd like to thank you for listening in and to my gamification possibility for my cashiers here at Giant. I actually think this could possibly work, even though most of them are probably more sentimentally in just for the cash. I think you could actually get with this program possibly more people intrigued and trying to do something instead of just go in for the cash and come out. With these two huge elements put in from a game point of view, I think you could improve Giant food stores a pretty decent amount.